Welcome back to ABC English Story, the place where stories breathe, and English comes alive, not just in your mind, but in your heart. I'm Emma, and today, we're not just telling a story. We're stepping into a small, sun-dappled farmyard, a place that holds a mirror to our own lives, our own choices. We're diving deep into a tale many of us heard as children, The Little Red Hen. But like a familiar song heard with new ears, we're going to uncover the layers, the quiet wisdom tucked within its simple words. It's a story about more than just baking bread. It's about the echo of our actions, or sometimes, our inactions. And we'll focus on 5 simple, yet powerful phrases that drive this unforgettable narrative. Think of them as keys, unlocking the deeper meaning of this classic. Our story begins, as many good stories do, with a small discovery. Our little red hen, a creature of diligence and quiet observation, not unlike some of the most steadfast souls we know, was scratching about in the farmyard one fine morning. The sun, a benevolent eye in the vast blue, warmed her feathers. And there, amidst the everyday dust and chaff, she found a few grains of wheat. Not a treasure trove, mind you, not a windfall, but a potential. A beginning. Living on this farm, a place of seeming tranquility, were also a lazy dog, a sleepy cat, and a rather indifferent duck. They were masters of repose, champions of leisure, often found basking in the sun or lounging in the shade, the world's work a distant hum they preferred to ignore. The little red hen, however, saw those grains of wheat and envisioned something more. Bread. Golden, fragrant, life-sustaining bread. But she knew, with a certainty that often accompanies those who carry more than their share of the load, that the journey from seed to loaf was not one she could, or perhaps should, undertake entirely alone if help was to be had. The core issue wasn't just the work itself, but the spirit of community, of shared effort, that she hoped to find. This is where our first essential phrase emerges. A simple question, really, but one that sets the entire story in motion. Holding up her find, her voice clear and hopeful, the little red hen asked, "Who will help me plant this wheat?" Phrase 1. It's a gentle invitation, isn't it? An open door. There's no demand, no accusation, just a simple query offered to her fellow farm dwellers. Now you can almost picture the scene. The dog, perhaps, blinked one eye open, yawned a magnificent, jaw-stretching yawn, and settled back into his nap. The cat, ever so gracefully, might have flicked her tail, deeming the proposition far too energetic. The duck probably just quacked a dismissal and waddled off towards the pond. And so, we hear the second essential phrase, the chorus of indifference. "Not I," said the dog. "Not I," said the cat. "Not I," said the duck. Phrase 2. There's a starkness to this refusal, a finality. It's not, "maybe later," or "I'm busy right now." It's a simple, unadorned rejection of shared effort. It's a phrase that, in its quiet way, builds a little wall around each of them, separating them from the task and from the hen. Did a shadow of disappointment cross the little red hen's bright eyes? Perhaps. A weariness, like a cloak, try to settle on her small shoulders? Maybe for a fleeting moment. But here, we encounter the spirit that defines her, the quiet resilience that Hemingway so admired. She didn't argue, she didn't plead, she didn't complain. Instead, with a steadfastness that speaks volumes, came her unwavering response, our third crucial phrase. "Then I will do it myself," said the little red hen. Phrase 3. And so, she did. She tilled the soil, her small claws working with surprising strength. She planted each grain with care, a tiny act of faith in the future. The sun shone, the rain fell, and the wheat began to sprout, little green shoots pushing through the dark earth, a testament to her solitary labor. It was a quiet, sacred kind of work, A lonely vigil, perhaps, but one filled with purpose. The seasons turned. The wheat grew tall and golden, swaying in the gentle breeze. A beautiful, almost melancholic sight, like one of Fitzgerald's wistful landscapes, if you think about the effort it represented, all unseen, uncelebrated by the others. Soon it was time for harvest. Again, the little red hen, ever hopeful, ever willing to offer a chance for camaraderie, called out, "Who will help me cut this wheat?" And again, the familiar, almost mournful refrain, "Not I," sighed the dog from his comfortable patch of shade. "Not I," purred the cat, stretching languidly. "Not I," quacked the duck, busy preening his feathers. "Then I will do it myself," said the little red hen. And she did. With her sharp beak, she cut stalk after stalk, a tiny, determined figure against the vast field. The work wasn't over. The wheat needed to be threshed to separate the grain from the chaff. "Who will help me thresh this wheat?" she asked, her voice perhaps a little tired now, but still clear. You can guess the answer, can't you? "Not I, not I, not I." "Then I will do it myself." And she did. Then came the journey to the mill, to grind the wheat into fine flour, a heavy sack for a little hen. "Who will help me take this wheat to the mill?" The silence that followed was broken only by the buzzing of a fly and the distant moo of a cow. "Not I," came the inevitable replies. "Then I will do it myself." And with great effort, she did. She returned, dusty but triumphant, with a sack of fine white flour. Now, for the final act of creation, the baking. The air would soon be filled with that most comforting of aromas. "Who will help me bake this bread?" asked the little red hen, as she prepared the dough. One last chance. One final invitation. But the pattern held. "Not I," from the dog, the cat, the duck, each lost in their own indolence. "Then I will do it myself," she said, a familiar resolve in her tone. And she mixed, and kneaded, and shaped, and finally placed the loaf into the oven. Soon, a wonderful smell, the smell of freshly baked bread, began to drift across the farmyard. It was a smell that could awaken the sleepiest dog, entice the most aloof cat, and draw the most preoccupied duck. And it did. They appeared, noses twitching, eyes bright with sudden interest. The golden brown loaf sat cooling, a symbol of all her unseen effort, her quiet perseverance. This brings us to our fourth pivotal phrase, uttered by the little red hen, her gaze steady as she looked at the assembled, now very attentive audience. "Who will help me eat this bread?" Phrase 4. The tables have turned. The question is the same, who will help me? But the context, the very air around it, has shifted dramatically. There's a weight to this question now, a history. And what was the response? An enthusiastic, almost deafening chorus, our fifth and final key phrase. "I will," barked the dog, suddenly full of energy. "I will," meowed the cat, sidling closer. "I will," quacked the duck, waddling forward eagerly. Phrase 5. Such enthusiasm, such willingness. Where was this spirit when the soil needed tilling, the wheat needed cutting, the flour needed carrying? The little red hen looked at them. And in her gaze, there wasn't malice, perhaps not even the gentle chiding of a Mark Twain observing human folly. Instead, there was a quiet strength, a clear understanding of fairness, the kind of steadfast morality Harper Lee championed in her characters. "No, you will not," she said, her voice not loud but firm. "I planted the wheat, I cut it, I threshed it, I took it to the mill, I baked this bread, I did it all myself, and now I will eat it myself." And she did. Every last crumb. The story often ends there, but the impact, the legacy of those words and actions, lingers. This isn't just a children's tale about a hen and some lazy animals. It's a profound commentary on work, responsibility, and consequence. The little red hen's journey wasn't just about physical labor. It was a testament to inner strength, to the courage of taking initiative when no one else will. Her actions resonate with a quiet dignity, a refusal to be defeated by the apathy of others. The lesson isn't one of vengeance, but of natural, just outcomes. The other animals weren't punished in a cruel way. They simply faced the direct result of their choices. They missed out. They missed out on the work, yes, but also on the satisfaction of contribution, the camaraderie of shared effort, and ultimately, the reward. There's a touch of F. Scott Fitzgerald's melancholy here. The beautiful, warm bread, a symbol of what could have been shared, enjoyed only by one, because the others chose not to partake in its creation. So, what profound lesson can we, as learners of English and learners of life, take from this simple story and its essential phrases? Who will help me? It's a vulnerable question, whether it's about a small task or a big dream. Not I. How often do we hear this, or perhaps say this, sometimes without truly considering the weight of that refusal? And then, that powerful declaration, "Then I will do it myself." It's a phrase of empowerment, of self-reliance. It speaks to the resilience within us, the ability to push forward even when support is absent. It reminds me of Toni Morrison's characters, who often carry immense burdens with a profound, quiet strength. Who will help me eat this bread? This is the moment of reckoning, the point where actions or inactions meet their consequences. And finally, I will. The eager, often too late desire to partake in the rewards without sharing the labor. This story resonates deeply, doesn't it? Think about your own life, your studies, your work, your relationships. Have there been times when you felt like the little red hen, pouring your energy into something while others stood by? Or perhaps, with a gentle honesty, have there been moments when you were the dog, the cat, or the duck, missing an opportunity to contribute, to connect, to share in the effort and the reward? The beauty of the little red hen, especially through these key phrases, is that it doesn't preach in a harsh way. It simply lays out a sequence of events, as clear and direct as Hemingway's prose, allowing the truth to settle in our minds. It invites contemplation, that quiet, sacred reflection Marilyn Robinson's work often evokes. It's a call to be mindful of our contributions, to understand the value of lending a hand, and to respect the effort that goes into every good thing. The struggle, the perseverance, the eventual, just outcome, these are universal themes. The little red hen wasn't looking for applause, she was looking for partners. When she found none for the work, she rightly found none for the reward. It's a lesson in fairness, in the quiet dignity of labor, and in the understanding that what we sow, we shall eventually reap. And that's the enduring magic of the little red hen. A simple story, yes, but one that continues to teach, to inspire, and to make us think, long after the last page is turned. It reminds us that every "I will do it myself" is a moment of strength, and every "not I" is a moment of choice with consequences. Thank you for joining me on ABC English Story today. I hope this tale, and our look at its core phrases, has given you some food for thought, and perhaps a little encouragement for your own journeys. If this story inspired you, or made you reflect, give us a like, share it with a friend who might appreciate it, and don't forget to subscribe to ABC English Story for more meaningful content like this. We love hearing your thoughts, so please, leave a comment below. Which part of the story, or which phrase, resonated most with you? Until next time, keep listening, keep learning, and keep finding the extraordinary in the seemingly ordinary.